Hola, esto es la clase de Español 2 y esto es un repaso. Bienvenidos a Español 2, un repaso. Review. I want to talk to you today, or right now in this video, about verbs that are like gustar. Gustar means to be pleasing. And basically in Spanish, you only use two forms of it. There are many other verbs exactly like this, and you will find them on page 186 and also on page 194. With these verbs, we're only going to use two forms of them. So we're not going to use yo, we're not going to use tu. We're going to use the he and she form. We're not going to use the we form, and we're going to use the they form. And all of these verbs, now for the IR and ER, the conjugations are different. So for IR, it would be A and N. And for ER, it would be A and N. So the IR and the ER are exactly the same. So for example, we'll take off for to be pleasing, which in English we say I like. But in Spanish we don't say that. We say it pleases me or they please me. So you need to memorize these pronouns right here. Me, te, le, nos, les. So that makes it simple. For example, if we say me gusta, let's cap that so it's a sentence. Me gusta, it pleases me. Or we could say me gustan, they please me. Me gustan. Right? Other verbs though that are similar to this are encantar. So we could say encanta, it enchants or it mesmerizes, and we could say encantan. And then we could plug in any pronoun to tell who is being enchanted by whatever it is we're talking about. So it'd be me encanta, te encanta, le encanta, nos encanta, les encanta. Or it could be encantan, which would mean more than one. So we use encanta or gusta for one thing, and we use the they form for more than one. So we could say me encantan, te encantan, le encantan, nos encantan, and les encantan. Or we could take the verb aburrir, which means to be boring or to bore. Like as in, that's so boring. Oh my God. Okay? So we would change aburrir, we'd take off that IR, and we'd add the E to it or the EN to it. And so we'd have aburre or aburren. And then we could say who is being bored. So I could say me aburre, te aburre, le aburre, nos aburre, o les aburre. So let me go back and just say this. These are called indirect object pronouns, which is a fancy linguistic term that I don't think is all that important. Because linguists, and I'm one of them, we like to categorize things and label them. But that's not how you learn to speak, right? By learning categories, you learn to speak by speaking, all right? So we could say, to me, me is to me, te is to you, le is to her, le is to him, Le is to you, formal. Nos is to us. Les is to them. And to y'all. I hope you listened to my rooster crow just a second ago. Okay, so I go back and say me aburre or me aburren. O te aburre o te aburren. O le aburre o le aburren. Nos aburre, les aburren. Oh, nos aburre, nos aburren. Les aburre, les aburren. All right, so go back and review pages 186 and 194 so that you can figure out how to do verbs that are like gustar. Let me see if there's anything interesting. Nope, nothing else that's interesting. Muchas gracias por escuchar. Many thanks for listening. Que aprendas a hablar español. I hope you learn to speak Spanish. And you will if you will practice the way I'm talking about. And do it out loud. Don't do it in writing. I took Spanish from 7th grade through 10th grade, so for 4 years. I stopped after 4 years only because I still couldn't speak Spanish. But that was because of the way I was taught. I was taught a translation method, which was a bunch of garbage. I'm teaching you a communicative method because when we learn another language, we want to be able to communicate, not translate. Muchas gracias. Ciao.